You have come to Copenhagen, Denmark, as a representative of the voice of indigenous people in your country.
That is correct.
Tell me a little bit more about who you're representing and what you're representing.
Well, I am representing my traditional area, which is the Agogo Traditional area in Ashanti of Ghana. The reason why I am here is that when you were young, it could have been some 60 years ago. It was all green, things were normal, the rains were falling, the rivers were full. You were not drinking from tap water, but drinking from the rivers, clean. Then after independence, things changed. The British had the foresight to see that because of our farming practices, they needed to protect us. And they created rainforest areas, protected areas, to ensure that the climate was in balance. Unfortunately, after independence, things started falling apart when our own bureaucrats took over the administration. And within the past 50 years, Ghana has lost very close to about 80% of its forest cover. And particularly in the area that I am used to, or I was used to as a young man, if I see the devastation, the loss of the forest cover, and the consequences have been that many of these rainforest areas have now turned into savannah grasslands. And it is because the big trees, the hardwoods had been cut, exported to Europe over the years to enrich the homes in Europe and elsewhere. And the controls which our people needed to put in place, because of the sheer power of these multinationals, they got their way to the extent that our people hadn't been able to create the structures to put these multinationals under control. These hardwoods exported to Europe, leaving us completely devastated over the years. And if you come to see what is happening in our part of the world, which was even the center of the forests, Ashanti was right in the center of Ghana, which was supposed to be the most forested area, virtually are now turning into savannah lands. And if the world does not rise up to the occasion to see that Africa, or for that matter, West Africa, and the reason why I'm saying this is because of European settlements in Central and Eastern Africa, they created the safari parks, game reserves, and so on. They have more attention than West Africa has received, because the Europeans never attempted to settle in West Africa. So the case for the loss of the rainforests in West Africa is not heard, but rather attention is focused on the areas which interest them. It's not their fault. Congo is always at the center. Democratic Republic, all those areas, they have been at the center of attention. and attention is focused in those areas because of the game reserves. And then if you come to South Africa is closer to America. So the problem they have received more attention than those of us in West Africa, especially in Ghana. So I have come here to let the world know I am not sponsored by the government. I have sponsored myself as a leader of an indigenous area who are affected by the effects of this, because I have experienced it through my life. So I am here to call attention that the same focus that they give to Central and Central and East Africa and South Africa, because of their nearness to America, they should also look towards West Africa and then see that West Africa is the West for it because of this lack of attention. And I'm very passionate about this, to call the attention of this conference that we need reforestation. I have done it over the past 30 years.
How many trees?
I have about 10,000. I've done it over the 30 years period. I have about 10,000 acres under cultivation. And I have also educated my people that even on their farms, they should try to grow trees. And it's coming fine. And I'm here to make appeal to people like you that they should not lose sight. They should not lose their focus also on West Africa. That West Africa is the way for it. We have lost about 80% of our forest cover over the past 50 years. And then if you go to the north, the Sahara is fast approaching the northern part of Ghana. And I tell you, poverty levels are increasing. Because can you imagine people using corn stalk as a form of firewood? The trees have been cut, and the Sahel is fast approaching, increasing poverty levels. That is why I am here on my own. I am not sponsored by the government, but sponsored by my traditional area, and as an indigenous person, that the world should take note of this.